uh, we're still dealing with the theme about God being able because He is. And we need to get that in our spirit. We need to get it in our heart and in our soul and in our spirit. You need to get that. It need to be so in your heart, soul, and spirit that you have to be like David said, my heart is fixed. My heart is set up. My heart is solid when it comes to believing that God is able. You got to know that nothing can move me away from knowing that God is in control and that God is able. The Bible said Daniel purposed in his heart. You're going to have to purpose in your heart that it doesn't matter what comes, the rains, the floods, the hurricanes, trouble in the family, trouble in your marriage, trouble with your children, trouble on your job, trouble in your body. And it doesn't matter what comes because these things will come because you are born of a woman. And the Bible lets us know that the man that's born of a woman is of a few days and full of trouble. That's always going to be something. Even though you're going to have some good days, you're going to have some bad days. You're going to win some battles and you're going to lose some battles. But we know that the war is already won because the writer said that we are more than conquerors through him that loved us and gave himself for us. We don't have to do the fighting. God said the battle is not yours. It's mine. The battle is the Lord's. So we need to step back. God was fighting Job's battle. Job was helpless. He could do nothing to preserve his children, to preserve his wealth, to preserve his health. He could do nothing because he was powerless against the devil. And so are we. We are powerless against the devil, but God was fighting Job's battle. And so it is God is fighting our battles. See, the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but they're mighty through God to the pulling down of strongholds, to giving us the victory. They're mighty through God, not through you. Jesus said, without me, you can do nothing. We need God in every aspect of our lives. We need him. We need his grace. We need his strength. We need him. So he's the only one that is able. And so we're going to go to Psalms 46 and 10. And it reads, be still and know that I am God. I will be exalted among the heathens. I will be exalted in the earth. God is going to get his glory. God is going to be exalted. God is going to show who is God, that he is God. And God cannot show himself strong in your life if you're showing yourself strong or trying to show yourself strong. God needs us to just get out the way, just to be still and know that he is God, that he is in control, and not us. God's power cannot be manifest in our lives unless we are showing ourselves to be what we are, and that is weak. God's power shows up in our weakness. Like God was saying to Paul, my power is manifest in your weakness. When you admit that you can't do it, you have no power. You're not able. But yet, once Paul realized that, he just said, well, and God told him, my grace is sufficient, he said, well, I'm just going to glory. I'm just going to give God praise, glory, and honor. And that's all God wants us to do, is to give him praise, to give him glory, to give him honor, and he will take care of the rest. We just have to stand still. He's only asking you to believe. Stand still and believe that I am God and that I am able. Don't let fear grip your heart. It is the unknown that causes us fear. When we don't know what the outcome is going to be. That would cause anxiety and fear to grip your heart. You don't know what the outcome is going to be, so you have to exercise some faith in God. God knows the outcome. He knows the end from the beginning. So he already knows what the outcome is going to be. And he also lets us know that the works were finished from the foundation of the world. Your deliverance, your salvation, your hope, how God is going to fix it is already established from the foundation of the world. Nothing catches God by surprise. It catches you by surprise. But nothing catches God by surprise. The devil has never snuck one in on God. Never. Everything, God has allowed it because he knew what he was going to do. But we have to exercise faith in him. We have to know. You have to know. That's what it's all about. It's when we don't know, he's able. When you don't believe, he's able. That's why God left us the Old Testament, so we could see what he did for others. Paul said, these things are written for our learning, that we can look back and see how many times God delivered his people, how many times he was there for them, how many times he made ways for them, and bringing them through a Red Sea and water out of a rock 2 times, and their clothes did not wear out, and the feet did not swell walking in the desert. Those clothes lasted for 40 years. God was showing his power. And David had a testimony. David's testimony was, God delivered me from the bear and delivered me from the lion, and let me kill that giant Goliath. So I can just stand still now and know that anything that comes up against me, God is able. David was able to go up against that giant with no fear. You know he was not afraid, even when he saw the height and the armor and the spear and all the equipment that the giant had did not discourage David. And all David had was 5 smooth stones and a sling. That's naturally. But he also had the name of the Lord. And we know the name of the Lord is a strong tower. The name of the Lord has power. And David said, I'm coming to you in the name of the Lord. You coming to me with a sword and a spear. But I'm coming in the name of the Lord. It is all about the name. It's the name. And that name and the power that's in that name got in that stone. David didn't need 5 stones. He just needed one and God to be in it. That's all you need, is for God to be in it. And everything is going to work out just fine. And David did not tiptoe toward the giant. Now we know he wasn't afraid because the Bible said he ran. When you're afraid of something, you run away from it. David did not run away from that giant, but he ran to his problem. He ran to the giant. And God's Spirit moved and directed that stone right into that giant's forehead and brought him down. And David didn't have a sword. He took the enemy's sword and cut off his head. David was going on what he knew about God. See, I know God is able. I've experienced God doing things in my life before. And that's how you have to see it. I know what God has done for me. And I have to know that if he did that, he can do this. Because he's brought me through this, and he's brought me through that, and he'll keep bringing me through all of my this and all of my that. He'll keep bringing me through. He'll keep bringing down my giants. He'll keep killing my lions and my bears. You got to know that God is able. All God wants you to do is stand still. Be still and know what God is able to do. They said, Jehoshaphat said, we have the enemy coming against us and we have no power. We have no might. And we don't know what to do. There's just going to be situations when you just don't know what to do. But God really just wants you to stand still. Alfonso Coble at sbcglobal.net